the environment, water management, water quality, farming, history and culture, public events, recreation, Delta food, and the arts. Tune into Delta Flows on KXVS, the voice of Stockton, streaming live on Facebook and YouTube at KXVS Radio.
Hey, it's Details from KXVS, and from all of us at the Voice of Stockton, we want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
KXVS, the voice of Stockton, live. The voice of Stockton at Stone Soup Studio. KXVS.org.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program do not necessarily reflect those of KXVS, the voice of Stockton, or its parents, affiliates, management, and staff.
It's time for the Tom Patti reality show on KXVS, the voice of Stockton. Here's your host, Tom Patti.
Thank you. Thank you, Governor Don. We're echoed. Can you hear now? Sound check, 1, 2, 3, echo.
All right, got you, Tom.
We good?
We're good.
Okay, well, welcome, everybody. This is our show. I am Tom Patti, a San Joaquin County Supervisor, and this is the final show of 2017, where we will be discussing everything local, political, current, and real. Thank you all for joining us today. So, Ted Lehrer.
Yes, it's wonderful to be here on your final episode of 2017.
But I got to tell you, before we get too far into the show, I'm troubled. I'm vexed. I'm really perplexed about something. And last night I was watching the news, and as bad as it was, there was a melee at one of the local shopping malls, which is unruly and totally improper behavior. But I saw a clip, and I thought I saw in the background you were jumping on a car. Were you participating in this melee at the mall in any capacity?
Yes, I was really upset. Apparently, the Dillards ran out of extra large cardigans, sweaters, and sweater vests. So that's what actually started the melee and fight. And yeah.
Were you interviewed by the police? Have you come clean? Have you talked to them about your involvement?
I have not, and if they call you, you haven't seen me in several days.
Well, I'm upset and I'm distraught by it, and that you're associated with the show. I'm being a board member of Crime Stoppers. I'm going to have to call the tip line and share the potential of this.
Okay, if you really want to know why I was there, I was returning the gift you bought me, so I apologize. And I'm really embarrassed that I was doing it the day after Christmas. So
wait, the more questionable thing here is the fact that I bought you a gift.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, listen, welcome, and we are glad to be wrapping up this year, and we've got some fantastic guests in our studio. So, obviously Christmas Day came and went. Now we have to pay for it, and the new year awaits. But I want to jump right into our guests. We have with us James Paul and Mike Nunnally, who's a basketball player. And, we're going to hear more about this, actually. I don't want to really get too far into it without them sharing. Mike Nunnally is playing internationally after playing locally, and from high school to a local Delta College, which I'm proudly on that board of the Delta College Foundation. Then he went to University of Pacific, one of the finest institutions of learning, and a great sports program there. And now he has a chance. He's playing internationally. So we're going to hear more about that right now. So welcome, both of you, Mike and James. James, give us a little brief breakdown and just a quick introduction, because you've got a pretty exciting thing going on here that you're offering to the population and the people here in San Joaquin and Stockton in particular.
Well, thank you, Tom. Yeah, we really do have a unique opportunity here. What we've done is we've created a basketball team that has become part of the American Basketball Association. We're representing Stockton, and we're doing so in very, very good fashion. Right now we're ranked 9th in the nation out of 120 teams in the ABA. Is that
right?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, our record is 6-1, and we've really come on board in strong fashion, and we're taking a lot of pride in representing our community. Our team is comprised, like guys like Mike right here, of Stockton natives, Stockton residents, folks that went to school here, went to college here, and continued on.
And there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent in this region.
Tremendous amount of basketball talent in this area.
Present company included. I mean, look at for you to be playing professionally, internationally, is outstanding, Mike.
Right.
So, one of the big things that we're doing is we're trying to create a sports team that Stockton can really get behind and support. We're playing at the Stockton Arena. We've been blessed with some wonderful sponsors that are creating this activity for our community free of charge. There's no catch. There's no gimmick. We're just simply giving you an invitation to come out to the Stockton Arena and watch your home team take on some of the best in the country in the American Basketball Association.
And is there, you say it's your team's 6-1. Is there a set schedule of you're going to be here every Tuesday or every second Tuesday of the month, or how's that schedule work?
Unfortunately, we were really late to the plate as far as getting our schedule established. I purchased the franchise in September of this year.
Of this year?
Of this year.
Oh, my gosh.
It was my 40th,
the season was already starting.
My 40th birthday, actually. I purchased a franchise. And, I saw an opportunity here with the arena, with the basketball talent that we have, with the community really needing something positive that they could turn out for and really enjoy. And I went for it. And
it's fun. You guys are offering fun basketball.
Fun. Yes, and it's a really, really exciting, fast-paced game. This is not your typical college game in which the referees are dominating a lot of the tempo. This is not your typical NBA game where you have to follow a certain format. This is a really awesome opportunity to kind of create as we go and really focus on our local talents and not have to be placed into a certain box of continuity.
And do I understand correctly that there are no fouls, tripping, hitting, elbows, pushing, it's all legal?
No fouls whatsoever. The refs are just there to enjoy the show themselves.
So almost like big-time wrestling and basketball.
They let us play. They definitely
But they do let you play, actually.
They're
a little loose on some of the, because as a professional ball player, you see some of the flops and some of the dramatic acting, and a blatant hurtful foul is one thing, but then some of the flopping and some of the make-believe, owies.
Yeah. Throughout the course of the game, I have to kind of remind the refs that we are human. You gotta call some fouls. Right. You don't want us to kill each other, but they let us play though.
But they do. It's a little bit loose, isn't it?
It's fun. Yeah, it is
fun. That is. So it's not always being interrupted. It's like it's sometimes what you're often going to find on your schoolyards and I used to watch. Yeah, I used to watch basketball when I lived in New York City down Greenwich Village on 6th Avenue. There was this great full court that just. You showed up and you played, and it's the same thing in Venice. You see all these
like
great.
The Rucker kind of that's pretty big. That's like the Rucker. They call it the Rucker in New York.
It might be. It might be.
It's a big thing.
I'd just be walking through the neighborhood, stop and watch some great ball.
Oh yeah.
And there's respect. I mean, nobody's trying to end anybody's day. Yeah. And you saw some great ball, but it wasn't stopping every quick offense.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Now, you had mentioned that here in Stockton, the team that's in Stockton is composed of a number of players from Stockton. Is that the case with other ABA teams throughout the country, like the Modesto team? Do you know if those are like Modesto residents, and the Oakland team, or would that be Oakland residents that are on the Oakland team and on the Modesto team?
I think that in some situations, I think that you'll have a decent percentage of those players from that local community. But what we have found in the teams we've played against so far in our inaugural season is that a lot of these players are coming from different parts of the country. The Monterey team, for instance, one of their coaches had been with the Lakers for many years.
How about that?
And most of their players had come from Chicago and Illinois and Indiana and had been recruited to come out to Monterey to represent that community. So we're really proud of being able to be on a professional level in a national spotlight and be doing it with our hometown heroes.
Absolutely. Now, are you catching people at different spectrums of their career? You can get some people when they're doing it for recreation and activity, and you get some people that are still aspiring and rising.
Yes, indeed. There's a lot of levels involved in our team, this year, and it was it came together very, very quickly. So we were blessed to have a wonderful community of guys that were willing to take on this challenge and go take it to the other teams. But yeah, I think we've got the opportunity for folks that are just coming out of their college playing career to use this as a stepping stone to, maybe get recognized if they haven't been recognized for other overseas professional opportunities, or potentially into the NBA G League or NBA itself. There's a lot of politics involved in professional sports.
Right.
And this gives our community and our citizens an opportunity, if this is what their passion is, a chance to continue to pursue it. Should the normal avenues disappear.
Right, I gotcha. And Mike, so you're playing currently. Tell us a little bit about what's drawn you to this team and what's going on in your career. You're a young guy still, so you've got a lot going on.
Well, but basically, what had happened was, I was in contact with Aaron Stallworth through Facebook, and I've currently been playing in China for the past 2 years, and still currently playing. Actually, just waiting on a contract. And the reason why I came back was the birth of my son. My wife, I had sent them back because they lived with me in China, in Shenzhen, China, for about a year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I played for this team called the Jiangsu Lions, which is a Providence right next to Shanghai, and played there 2 months. It was a summer season, and I really didn't want her to give birth in China.
Right.
So, sent them back, and we got the house here in Stockton. We were actually living in Fullerton, so we made the move, and I went back to China for training.
Sure.
And then I actually flew back just in time a month ago. As soon as I stepped through the door, after a 12-hour flight, she went in labor.
How about that?
And so, I came back, and just so happened, just to keep me in shape, they had the Team Trouble team, and it was just a perfect transition for me to hop on the team and just to get back into the flow of things and keep in shape and, just stay, keep that that edge and be ready. You never know, because, overseas, you get a phone call and they can – you ready to go, or you have to stay in shape. So it's a perfect situation for me. Perfect.
Yeah, I used to come back here when I was boxing full time back on the East Coast. I'd come back here and go to gym spar, and then I'd hey, what amateur fights are there? And I'd be back out here and I'd get in a tournament and win a California regional something title, and then fly back to New York, because you always want that experience. You keep that's what people don't understand about the sport. It's not natural talent.
Right.
It's that extra work, it's that extra effort, it's that extra experience you're getting, and you just keep rising and pushing yourself to go to a higher level.
And you're an athlete, so
once upon a time.
You're retired athlete,
yes.
But it's nothing like actually. You can come home and train all by yourself, but it's nothing like playing in games and being in game shape.
Yep.
So it's perfect. A perfect situation. So.
And what's the season look like right now locally? What's your season going to look like? How integral can you be in this season before you head back to China?
Well, like I said, it can, I can get a phone call tomorrow and have to leave. You never know. So, I'm just riding this out until I get that phone call, and it's just going to, keep me in shape. And it's not just about the team, it's about the staff. James and the other guys are doing a great job as far as taking care of the players.
Sure.
From travels to just prepping the game, and they're all new to this. They're not, they don't, he's a race car driver. He drives race cars, but he has a passion for basketball as well. So, just him hopping into this situation, it amazes me how professional they are, and it's a really good thing that they're doing for the community, and I just want to be a part of it.
That's outstanding. So, yeah, great opportunity right here local.
Yeah.
And then you get to bring your daughter. You said you have a 3-year-old
daughter. Oh yeah, she comes to the games.
She can come to the game.
Yeah. We play at the Stockton Arena. I brought my kids to the games, and she loves it. So
and congratulations on your son. What's his name?
Michael Nunnally III.
Michael Nunnally III.
Yeah.
Oh,
so we
great.
call him Trey.
Trey.
Yeah,
awesome.
we call him Trey.
I love it. That's really wonderful and special times. And as I mentioned earlier, the days are long, but the years fly fast. So I know you're here to enjoy it and maximize it. That's fantastic. So what's next then for the team? How long does the season last? What's the prospects of going to playoffs or going any further?
Well, the season is underway. Like I said, we're being recognized and ranked nationally in the power rankings in the ABA, and we look like we're on pace for making the playoffs and hopefully making it to the Final Four in the tournament this first season. We've got 8 or 9 home games left scheduled for the Stockton Arena.
Great.
All of these games are going to be free of charge. Free of cost. There's no seminar you have to listen to. There's no catch that you have to sign up for or anything of that nature.
No timeshare.
No timeshare activity.
Acapulco.
Right. It's basically just an invitation to come out, enjoy the arena, enjoy the fruits of Stockton's labor and what we put so much time and effort into over the course of the past decade in building. And we want to invite a lot of folks that may not have had an opportunity to enjoy an event there yet. Here's your opportunity. There is no financial responsibility or request on our end for you to come and enjoy it.
Have you gotten over to United Way and their involvement with so many nonprofits, and just giving them tickets and talking to them about promotion. And Andy Prokoff is phenomenal, very big on marketing in many of his past lives and things he's done. That would be a great organization. I'm sure you've met with Andy.
I have not had an opportunity to. To be honest, I don't come from this type of work. I had a wonderful idea that a lot of our players in the community really supported and really wanted to see happen.
Sure.
And I was willing to take that risk. I always kind of thought to myself, this is such a basketball town. Why is there not a basketball team at this Stockton arena?
Yeah.
And eventually I just got to the point where, as opposed to continuing to ask that same question, it was just time to go ahead and take a leap and try to figure out how to make it work.
Sure.
And, we got blessed with some wonderful heavy-hitting sponsors right off the get-go that I had, some racing interaction with, and it transitioned into something wonderful for our community. And when you have a chance to go out there and see the brands that are working with us and the brands that have really invested into our people and our community, you're going to see that there is no catch, there is no gimmick. These are just wonderful products.
No, come on out, enjoy, and one of the many things you can do locally.
Indeed.
It's always funny. I always get amused when people are like, oh gosh, it's so boring here, nothing to do. I said, let me tell you something. If you're bored, that means you're boring. You personally are boring, because there are so many things to do. There's a plethora of things, whether it be at the Hagen Museum. There's weekly there's events going on there, sports events. There's so many ways to be involved and support the community. And if you think you're bored, then get involved with one of the 100+ nonprofits that we have here that are constantly having an impact in such a positive way. I mentioned Andy Prokoff and the United Way and all the many things they do, and the multitudes of nonprofits they work with. So I would recommend, and I can give you his phone number, but just call up Andy. He's one of the most welcoming, sweet, generous, and genuine people you could ever meet. And just come, hey, I would like to come on. I'd like to give you some tickets to our games. They're free. Yeah. We just want participation because this is what we're doing in the community.
Correct.
And he would be all over it. So
well, fantastic. These are the types of things that we need as an organization to be successful for our community. Is we need this community to support it and to be involved. And there's a lot of avenues and there's a lot of folks I know that would really enjoy helping out and creating such a wonderful opportunity for Stockton.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And it sounds like a great experience, a fan experience for those who attend the games. And I have attended one myself, and it was a blast.
Did you try out for the team, Ted?
I did, and I did not make it. I was really close, but
Did you know? Were you trying out to be a player or to be like the bench guy with towels, or what was your position that you was?
I was trying not to be center, but they said I was a little too short, a little too old, a little too slow.
So you took very serious.
I had like 15 different reasons why I was not accepted.
When somebody said to you, "You can be anything you want in life," you took that literally and seriously, didn't you?
I did, yes. And apparently that's more poetic than actual literal. But I had to learn that the hard way. But we did talk about the fan experience. When is the next home game that people can attend?
The next home game is January 7th. We'll be taking on the San Diego Surf. Tough team out of San Diego. San Diego actually has 3 teams in their region. The ABA is growing quite rapidly.
Yeah.
And like I had said earlier, there's 120 teams across the nation. So it's known as the largest professional organization in the world currently.
How about that?
And it's the ABA is where Dr. J came from. It's where the 3-point line was invented.
Was originated, yeah.
Correct.
Right.
It was where the slam dunk contest originated, and the 24-shot clock. So there's some new, unique rules and elements in the current ABA games that our community has an opportunity to come and experience. A thing called a 3D light, when there's turnovers that are started from the backcourt. It really creates a very high-paced, high octane, as I like to say, basketball experience. It's not your typical experience. It's very, very fast paced. There's a lot of dunks. There's a lot of showtime. And we've got some fantastic players that come right here from our neighborhoods that are putting on a show.
Yeah, and it's true. They are it's local talent.
It is local talent.
So January 7th, we'll be able to see Team Trouble, and we'll be able to see Mike Nunnally, assuming he's not on a plane to Beijing. Which could
That's our hope. Fingers are crossed.
Right. But no, that sounds great. So again, we want to thank you for coming on the Tom Patti Reality Show to discuss the ABA and Team Trouble.
Yeah, thank you.
And do you have any closing thoughts you'd like to share?
Yeah, and I'd like to say, thanks. This is a brand new organization. I'd like to say thanks to a couple of people, that are making this possible. First and foremost, my father, Greg Paul, has done a tremendous job on helping this come to to a level that we could start to bring to our community. Postal Plus over on Hammer and Dawn have
really
been one of the first local companies to actually step
Great.
up and say, we want to help you guys succeed. And that's what we're looking for from our community. We have brought some phenomenal international brands to the table to help fund all of this activity for our community, free of charge. We're not looking for anything in return. And what our hope is that this sets an example for our community and what we should be doing, and the support that we should be giving to our athletes. Once they're beyond the college realm, we still have tremendous athletes that can represent this community on a professional platform, and I think we've seen that in a lot of different sports. And basketball is one that we're very, very talented at, and we want to see this become something that the community really gets behind and wants to support from the long haul. We have very, very big goals for this team and for Stockton.
That's awesome. Mike, I get a quick question for you as a full-time athlete as you are. And I know in my own experiences, but playing basketball as you do and getting out there in different teams and different oppositions and players, and are you still learning?
Yes.
You are?
Yes.
Really?
Believe it or not. I used to be really, I was never really a shooter, in my career. And going overseas, you have to, extend your game. And, if you can shoot the ball, they'll pay you more.
Okay.
It's, shooting threes and all that stuff, and having the confidence to dribble and take guys off the dribble. I developed things, I wish I developed when I was younger.
Sure.
So, you never stop learning.
Well, there's self-improvement,
right?
And I understand that,
right.
and entirely working on your skills. But there's
right.
also game experience where you're playing in opposition, and at the game level,
right?
Is that still a learning phase for you?
Yeah, and the older I get, I feel like game time situations where you need a bucket, you need to score the ball. I feel like I need the ball, and I can score it at this certain time in the game, and knock down a free throw and not be intimidated by the clock, and the score being tied and
right.
the crowd going crazy. So, you're just being calm, relaxed, and you just get older and you just, kind of late bloom, I guess. I don't know if you call it that, but yeah, I feel like I'm still learning, and yeah.
I had a great conversation in kind of one of the last couple of years. I had the opportunity to meet Wilt Chamberlain, and he and I had a great conversation, and without getting into it, but he and Cus D'Amato had a history because at one point Cus believed that Wilt, you could fight and beat Muhammad Ali. So that's a whole other separate story.
Wow.
And Cus was kind of interested in training and schooling and bringing that way. So they had lots of engaging conversations and spent a lot of time together. And again, a much longer story. But my one-on-one conversation with him was, I had asked him, I said, what about this game do you keep, what are you learning, still learning? And so the fellow that was with him, he said, first off, he goes, when they change the game because you're that good, that's the first measure of how good he was. Right. I said, I know that. I said, but what is he still learning? And he said, I'm still learning to push myself harder. And I when I was an athlete, when I was active, I was still learning that I have to keep pushing myself, because every time I set a standard, that was something that my competitors, and they're capable and competent, because I knew that was a standard that I had to push above and beyond. I can't rest on my laurels, and it's true. You don't. Oh, I've gotten there and then stop, because I've gotten there and now I have to earn it. I got to work harder to prove not only I deserve to be here, but I'm the best while I'm here.
Exactly. Yep.
So it was an interesting conversation. I love to speak to people with that kind of experience, and what's the takeaway?
Right. That's neat. Life is a moving target. Every day when you wake up, it's a moving target, and tomorrow's going to be different than today. Yep. And the day when you figure that you can just sit back and be complacent, that you've already hit that target, for your lifetime or for your week or whatever it may be, that's when you're getting beat. Yeah. Because you're not aware of where the target's moving to next.
Yep. Very true.
Mike is a perfect example of that. He doesn't know if that phone call's coming tomorrow, or next week, or when that phone call's coming, but we know that while he's here, that we're blessed with his experience, and we have a solid team behind him. I know that we'll continue winning games and continue putting on a show, even with his potential exit, here for the next month or so. But I know that he's very eager
He's
to
raising
come
the
back.
game for you guys.
Exactly.
Raising it up.
Right.
Yeah, that's
and
fine.
Outstanding.
he's teaching a lot of our
I got to
players.
send my highlight to the page, man. I got a
That's
highlight.
right.
I got a highlight. It's actually out. I had somebody mix
Do a highlight reel for you?
tape,
Awesome.
from the
That's
past 2 games.
Absolutely,
I
man.
got to send it to you guys.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Good,
pretty
please
cool.
do.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
All right.
we thank you guys for being in our studio and joining us while you're here. And get out there and go get them, because I know you will. January 7th, right here in the Stockton Arena. I'm looking forward to being there, and it'll be a fantastic show. I'm certain of it.
Right
Indeed.
on. Right on.
Thank you,
All right, guys. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
let's have a great new year in
Yeah.
2018.
Indeed.
Yep.
All
Now,
right.
Ted, got a question for you.
Go right ahead.
Do you believe that money can buy happiness, or money cannot buy happiness? What's your take on it?
I would say money can buy happiness.
You say money can buy happiness. How
Sure.
does money buy happiness?
Well, I mean, it gives you a sense of security. It allows you to do things that you otherwise may not do, such as travel, perhaps, or purchase a new car that you've been wanting for several years because you haven't had one.
Okay. So that kind of fits along. I'm looking at some tweets lately, and it's kind of fun. It's just kind of amusing, and there's some fun
Good.
tweets out
when,
there.
When politicians
But-
are on Twitter, nothing. It's all good.
Oh, it's all fun and games.
Yeah,
So, and
there's-
I'm not promoting anything I've ever said or done on. But so if money can't buy happiness, as some people say, money can't buy happiness, but you can buy stuff, because then the stuff makes you happy.
There you-
So it kind of goes with you. You need a
Yeah.
car, you want a couple of things, you get an opportunity to buy stuff.
Yes.
So that's pretty good. Now, have you ever been to a dog park?
No.
I did. I used to have a German Shepherd and go to the dog park, and I always, obviously a German Shepherd's a German Shepherd. But I love this other tweet that was out there. It was a gal said, she goes, I go to the dog park, and she had a very, identifiable little dog, whatever it was, I don't know. But she says, when I go to the dog park and people say, what kind of dog do I have? I love the name she was coming up with. It was Venetian Dabney was one. A brown feta was another. Another was called a wax beard. She came up with Oxnard Pike, a blue hustler, and then her final one was a high Presbyterian. And people were like, oh, good, oh, nice, oh, that's special. And it was just always
So she just made these names up out of the blue.
People. So I
and,
love her sense of humor and sharing it, because it's kind of fun. It's fun to have fun with people, and if and can when you can. So we now have in our studio a very dear friend, a businessman, an entrepreneur. We have an educator and an all-around superstar, all-star. If he played for basketball, played on the Stockton Trouble team, he'd be in the starting lineup, I'm sure of it. But I'm not sure that it fits into his busy schedule. Kevin Hernandez, welcome to our show.
Well,
so very humbled by that introduction.
We did learn that Mike Nunnally may be leaving to Beijing real soon, so I believe they
There could
found
be an opening.
If I were to play basketball, it would be point guard, because I'm not that tall. But
Can you shoot?
Yeah, I can.
I cannot. I cannot. It would take me an hour to hit 5 buckets.
Mike, who was just here, says he can't shoot. So maybe
that's a challenge.
There you go.
Maybe that's a good challenge.
That's awesome. Kevin, welcome, and wanted to definitely talk with you a little bit, and thanks for your time, because I know you're busy. Now let's start. Give us a little background. You are a full-time educator.
So full-time educator, speech pathologist for SUSD of 17 years.
And located where?
Located in Stockton Unified School District.
Which location?
Franklin and Marshall. I was
Okay.
at Marshall, so we usually go all over the place.
Oh, you do?
So it depends on the need.
Sure.
But right now, my focus is Franklin, and it's a good location. Everyone needs help, so it's good with social pragmatics. I work on all those things for. That's my different hat, I call it.
Right.
It's my education hat.
Right.
So I understand there's a wonderful acting superintendent of SUSD right now.
There
too.
is. There's a great acting. There is right now. We have a lot of change in our district. I think there's a lot of change in our city in general, but looking at the education system, there's going to be and has been some change, I believe, and there will be more change. So I think that's good.
I think it's great. And
I'm
you
looking
had a good
forward to
segue.
it.
There's a lot of change in our communities.
There is.
But you're part of it. You're part of the renovation. You have a business called the Ave.
Yes.
That's located on the Miracle Mile of Pacific Avenue. And you're on the forefront of change and effort and renovation, and you've constantly got great ideas and pushing for renewal. So what's going on there?
So first of all, I wanted to explain what the P-bid is. We have a process going to our city council tomorrow at 2:00, and hopefully we can have our community members that will attend. And the P-bid is the Property-Based Improvement District, which a lot of people are like, what's a P-bid, right?
Sure.
They don't know what that is. So this year we're going to focus on the improvement part, because we've been a little delayed on that. So I think that our board going forward and the people of the Miracle Mile and the merchants and the owners of the buildings, I think we all need to come together and figure out what our plan is going forward. Short-term, long-term planning, and I think that we have a lot of work to do.
You had a great idea, and the more I thought about it, it just one of the most progressive things that you could think. But and I would support this wholeheartedly, just like a CSU located
Sure.
downtown Stockton.
Oh.
Education.
Sure.
However, on the Miracle Mile, we have what used to be the Stockton Royal. I know it's been closed down and some renovations, and I'm not sure exactly what Kit's doing at that property.
Wow.
But you had an idea, and I'm telling you, you guys ought to pursue this. Seek a developer, a hotel operator that can break it down, put it in underground parking, and make a nice, modern 4-star hotel. That would
solve
everything.
Around. And it would solve, and it would turn the Miracle Mile around.
That would be such an anchor for the restaurants and for renovation.
Absolutely.
And it's very progressive
100%.
and forward-thinking. So I would get on that bandwagon with you. I would pursue locations like Livermore. What hotels are downtown? Let's go talk to them. Let's show them the demographics. Let's show them the shortcoming of what we're missing on hotels.
Any Midtown area, if you've been to Chico State, they're connected to Chico.
Yeah.
They have that little Midtown. Livermore, all those little Midtown
Pleasanton,
areas.
sure.
Pleasanton.
Yeah.
The Stanford area. There's all those little Carmel, even. I know it's going to. We don't have the ocean, but that area of walkable district, we have the Miracle Mile,
and we have the waterfront,
and we underestimate it. I believe that Stockton and our community has just so underestimated our walkable district and Miracle Mile.
It's underutilized.
It's underutilized. We should have our farmers markets there,
Yeah.
Close to Pacific. It's close to this beautiful area and neighborhood that people just come out their door and they want to do something. So getting back to the development part, we're not sure what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
If I had a crystal ball, I wished I could say this is what we're going to do. Maybe someone's listening and they're like, hey, that's a good potential. Maybe some developers are listening. I don't know. But we need to move forward with whatever that is, and it needs to be redone. And we need a start. So we need a vision, and we need a rendering, and we need excitement. And I think once that's done, then everyone can get behind something and say, let's move forward and let's plow forward ahead.
I really do. Just to finish that thought, I would love to help put together, and you guys, I'm sure, are very competent, very capable people, but just let's create the story and create the vision with renderings and go promote it, push it, and sell it, because we're off the radar for so many.
You're 100%.
But there's so much opportunity.
Correct.
And it is very diverse. We do have, as we just heard, there's sports leagues here. We have a great hockey team. We've got university here. There's so much going on that we do need an upscale hotel. And right there, located on Miracle Mile, it's very centrally located, and it would utilize fantastic.
Well, it'd be great because we talk about use of space, and Miracle Mile is a mixed use space. Coming from my city planning background, going back a little bit.
How long were you on the planning commission?
4 years.
Oh wow!
So I got to see a lot of things. I learned a lot actually, being part of the city, sidewalks and economic development. City planning, of course, and reading a lot of development projects. Actually, I think that Tom was one. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we did a project I brought over there.
I think Tom did a project. Actually, it was a
golden bear.
Yeah, it was the bear, and this is not working for me.
Do you know that's the first rooftop sign?
Yeah.
In California. In over 40 years.
It was great.
We got approved. And the building fit it because the building was made out of granite sheeting.
Right.
So you couldn't put anything affixed to the fascia of the building. So we needed a variance.
Right.
And be that as it may, there was in the sign industry, which
you have a background.
I grew up in.
Right.
My father being a former president of the California Sign Association, they had 40 plus years ago, because of seismic concerns and progression and the group think of everybody's better having a pole sign next to a freeway, looking like lollipops and stuck in the air, which they serve a purpose at some locations, but not everywhere. So we got a fantastic variance, and it reflects now. It shows that waterfront's open for business. You've got a gorgeous sign with a customer that spared no expense in creating a real, true, monumental, beautiful representation.
And
of his
I thought
company.
it was a great welcoming even to the downtown area. It showed a lot of welcome They landscaped that area, and when you come off of the 4, I believe, right there.
Yeah, well,
across 99 crosstown.
Yeah, the crosstown. You're still on I-5 over to on
so you
Fremont
come across,
Street.
and it's just a beautiful sign. So it was nice to have. So that was one of my
Rupert Hall,
projects.
let me tell you,
Rupert
just
Hall,
listen,
he did a
Rupert
great
Hall
job.
and Golden Bear and that commitment. Instead of taking his business out of town, the planning commission, you guys stepped up and says, no, we want you to stay here.
Absolutely.
And he's got 100+ employees there. He owns a building in San Francisco. Their company, and so he could have relocated, and that was an option.
Absolutely.
Said, no, we wanted him here,
Right.
and that was a commitment. And in return, his commitment is beautifying the area and
Right.
representing this company in a large presence right here in Stockton.
And that's a perfect example of local people doing local development projects here in Stockton that we so desperately need, not just on the Miracle Mile, but citywide.
Yep.
You know, whether it's downtown or Miracle Mile. I do think, getting back to the Miracle Mile, it is underutilized. And you know, I've opened up, I have the Ave, of course, and I've opened up the Abbey Trappist Pub. And I like my own miniature developing along the Miracle Mile, and I have a vision. And I really think that now people are kind of seeing that vision, but it needed to take, it's going to take some time.
It's steps and
It's
stages.
steps and
it
stages.
doesn't happen overnight because there's a lot of exposure and risk.
Right.
So you just get people more and more destinations. But a hotel down there, going back to that would be brilliant. You need a visionary, and you need people that have the
Very true.
the backing to execute on what would be a great plan.
Very true. And I think in addition to that, we have the issue maybe with the Miracle Miles people don't know is there's so many people that own different buildings on the Miracle Mile.
Sure.
So it's hard and very difficult to get everyone on the same page with a vision. And like I said, there's going to be change. People might sell their buildings maybe coming up here. You know, it's almost like if you want change, hop on board. What are we going to do?
Wasn't there a statistic of how many out-of-town property owners there are?
There was, and I don't have the answer to that statistic. I
was like
believe
40%?
I was going to say 30, but
I think the number in
Something
my
like
mind
that.
is 40% of the
I'd
property
rather
owners.
them be local.
Yeah, are
To
out
be
of
honest with
town,
you.
and they've inherited the properties perhaps, and they're just getting rent, and it's a money maker for
Right.
them, and they're not investing any extra dollars.
But here's the problem with that. As we just stated down at the other end, if you do not take care of your properties, look what could happen.
Sure.
So right? So we really need to hop on board together and create that excitement and vision.
Yeah.
And really move forward.
I'd love to see a city ordinance in place that mandates a facade upgrade and and put together a model of what it should look like, and it's like, get on board with this,
Yep.
or you're going to be there's going
You're
to
going to be
be
left in the
repercussions and
dust.
penalties.
Yeah. No, I feel you on that. And it goes back even to our Miracle Mile board.
Sure.
I asked lots of questions. Can we create CCNRs? Can
Sure.
we create different things? Can our city help us create that? It's just a matter of working together with our city. And I really hope, coming tomorrow, hopefully, if everything goes well, I really hope that the city will see the need and help the Miracle Mile get to where our potential, our maximum potential could be. Because I'm looking at now and saying this is great, so I can only imagine in the future what it's going to be.
It could be that and much
That
more.
and more.
Yeah. Good. Excellent
Absolutely.
job.
Well, coming up, we have New Year's Eve is this coming Sunday, and
Sure.
The Miracle Mile being it's not quite an entertainment district. You said it is mixed use, but there are entertainment venues, including yours.
Sure.
But one of the things that I've always liked about you is you always promote your own business, but you promote other businesses that are similar to yours on the Miracle Mile as well.
Absolutely.
What do you know that is going on for New Year's Eve? Not just certainly at your place, but other establishments as well.
Well, I will say that, if you have no plans, it is on a Sunday. People might just be out and about walking around. We've got Valley Brew. We've got La Palma. We've got Ave on the Mile. We've got the Abbey Trappist Pub. We've got Mile Wine. I know that Paul and Cindy are going to be doing their going away.
When is their last day?
Their last day is the 31st, I believe, at the end of the New Year. So they're having the 30th, the day before New Year's, they're having a going away.
And a new operator's coming in.
And a new operator is, I will say this, a new operator is coming in. So this is the exciting part is, like Paul and myself, we create, we envision, we move on, and maybe Paul's going to do another project. And I think that that's the best part of the Miracle Mile is we're all innovators. And I really commend Paul from Mile Wine. He's a great guy. They become good friends.
Sure.
And I do promote the parts of the Miracle Mile and the businesses. But there's a lot going on in New Year's. If you want to take a walk and and enjoy. I know we're open at 7 o'clock. For
7 p.m. or
7 p.m. Not 7 a.m. That'd be a long day of drinking. That'd be a long day of drinking, Ted.
And obviously you have available, responsible behavior. There's Ubers available.
Uber, Lyft. Oh, I'm a big proponent. Uber and Lyft and limos, especially for New Year's. We have groups. So yeah, we open at 7. We have dessert bar. We're gonna have champagne toast. We're gonna have a DJ, the countdown, and all the bells and whistles. So that'll be fun for us. This is our.
And are you selling admission and capping it at a certain point?
Yeah, we don't want people to be too confined. We like people to dance and have a good time. So we usually cap it off if need be. But we have tickets. It's 30 a couple. It's pretty reasonable. 30
Very
a couple.
Reasonable, yeah.
Or 20 a person. And it comes with the dessert bar and champagne toast.
So are you a tweeter?
This is really funny because I'm like, this year I want to become a tweeter because I look at the newscasts, of course, now, and I watch our El Presidente tweeting. Sure. And I just sit back and laugh and go, oh my gosh, that's nuts. They tweet, but I enjoy reading them and looking at them. But I'm thinking, you get in these tweeting wars.
Well,
sometimes.
Yeah. What's interesting about there are a lot of things interesting about President Trump's Twitter habits, but what makes his all the more unique is that most political tweets are actually. They're quite mundane and dull.
Yeah, very generic.
They are.
Had a wonderful day.
Not so much.
Hernandez on my radio show.
Not so much.
And that's what makes his, which are already of several levels above, even higher. Yeah. Because you contrast that with, say, a tweet from Senator Orrin Hatch, who says, "Had a wonderful day at the Salt Lake City Chamber of Commerce. What a dynamic group of individuals." Right.
It's very powerful. You look at how social media, in general, whether it be tweeting or Facebook and the communication, we have community activists, people that have a very strong voice, and I appreciate them as much as as the quiet local participants in the community. But you have an opportunity for people to have a voice and to express concerns, and to be a sounding board for issues. Now, with that comes, like there was something the other day about me on social media that was so blatantly wrong that I was like, I answered that I can't even address. You're so wrong in everything you said about me.
And you have to defend that. I mean,
well,
how do you deal with that? That's a good question for you, Tom. Like being a county supervisor and being who you are and a leader in this community, when people tweet, do you feel the need to want to defend yourself? Because I think that's where we get into. Do you ignore it?
Yeah, I think the art of it is to, and not that I'm an artist or do it all that well. I'm going to address something directly, and I'm going to try to disarm. I'm not going to, of course, attack somebody in any capacity.
Exactly.
Just say, you're wrong. You're blatantly wrong. and then
fake news.
And then the reply was like, oh, well, somebody told me that about you. I'm like, okay, so then now that's done. Now, by the way, I'm wishing you a Merry Christmas, and I appreciate you're involved and you've got issues, and letting you know that we are engaged. We're engaged in the issues you're talking about, and I don't really necessarily think this is the forum to discuss or vent about, but again, I do appreciate the ability for us elected people or us citizens in general, for anybody
to have
have a voice and to engage and to promote and to raise awareness on something, but you really do wish it was going to be fact based. If you're going to be attacking somebody, or
have your
not
facts,
necessarily attack, but just saying something, it could be it can have a whole nother life if it's not done fairly or accurately.
And I would agree with that.
And in the course of public opinion, that's not how we judge.
Yep.
We're doing things like right now there's an issue at the coroner's office. And separation of the sheriff of the coroner, and that's fine. A lot of people have the sentiment to do that, but we're not going to have a knee-jerk reaction. They're like, "Oh my gosh, there's a report! Immediately, let's separate these officers." No, we will
figure it out,
have a great, clear perspective and analysis, and we're going to act responsibly, not with a knee-jerk reaction. So, I appreciate all of the questions and all of the concerns, because they are voicing opinions that are vast and wide. But just our responsibility is to not be reactive to that, is to be careful and deliberate after very clear analysis.
Social media and the new media is really becoming the new public square. It really is. And it does allow policymakers such as the supervisor to understand what.
Now here's a good tweet. If you're feeling now, this could go both ways. If you're feeling irrelevant or too self-important, remember, somebody somewhere absolutely detests you. Even they spend time dwelling on that hatred because you matter.
That's a good tweet.
I thought that was great.
That's a great tweet.
So as full as you can be of yourself, or as irrelevant as you might be thinking, is there somebody somewhere that just totally detests you? That was a good tweet.
I can assure you that there are a lot of people out there who totally detest me. And on that happy note...
Do we call them haters, Ted?
We can call them anything we want. And I apologize in advance if I have too much fun at your place on New Year's Eve and forget to pay my tab. I promise it was completely unintentional.
We're going to have a good time. My whole, the whole point of New Year's and in owning a business here on the Miracle Mile and in general is really having a good time and making sure that Stockton community, there's a place to have fun and eat and enjoy. And then that was my
vision, your goal.
That was my whole vision.
And honestly, I've never walked in where people aren't in a good mood. You've got a great atmosphere. You've got music. It's you got good food there, which it's not a restaurant per se, but it is great food offered and served. And you did class, style. You walk in, you're like, this is a very well done room.
Well, the great thing is we were talking about food, and this year I'm stepping it up. We have Restaurant Week starting January, and we have a new chef that is from the Bay Area, but he came from Wine and Roses.
Oh, really?
So the things coming out of the kitchen I've seen are pretty darn amazing. So I'm really excited about this year moving forward to...
how's that going to work? Nightly dinner? Nightly specials? Nightly...
We do have nightly specials. We have a menu always. I think Teddy's Ted's been there. But we've had a nice menu. Chef will be changing it up. And then, of course, we have our specials. So... we're excited about that.
Outstanding.
Outstanding. That's
so
great.
We'll kick it off for Restaurant Week in January.
Well, Kevin Hernandez, we appreciate you being here. We appreciate your contribution to the community. I know you're just beginning with all that you're doing. So obviously you're young, you're energetic, and you bring a lot of pluses to not only Stockton, the Miracle Mile, and where we're going in the future. So I'm one of your supporters.
Our vision.
Totally.
Thank you, Tom.
Believe that the best days are ahead as we keep moving forward with many other good people doing lots of good things.
I do too.
Outstanding. Any final thoughts on 2017, gentlemen?
I'm looking forward to this next year, and it's you know what this next year is for me? Refinement. I just want to keep doing whatever I'm doing. I want to keep doing it better. So being as good of a father as I am, I want to be better. As good as a county supervisor I am, I want to do that and be better. Everything I'm doing, I just want to keep refining.
I think this is going to be the year of improvement all the way around. It's going to be a year of change and improvement for our city. And I think we're going to start seeing things visually. So that's my hope on things. And it's been a great year, but I think we have so much work to do. And I think everyone's hopping on board. There's more interest in the city of people getting involved.
Yes. Now, Ted, this next year, if you stay out of jail, that would be an accomplishment, a goal, or how's that feeling?
I take it one year at a time, so we'll see how it goes. 2017 was a great year. I want to keep building forward in 2018 and 19 and beyond.
You're doing a great job, young man.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
It's fun having you on the show.
It's wonderful being here.
And
Thanks,
Governor
man.
Don, thank you for all that you do for this KXVS and the Voice of Stockton. It's an important element in our community that we're very lucky to have you doing what you're doing, my friend.
Thank you, Governor. Don.
Thank you.
Was that it? We're off. Want me to record a quick promo?
See, I'm Italian. I speak with my hands. I need the cord on this side. I was like, oh. Good.
KXVS LP Stockton.